Hi there. In this video, I want to talk about navigating regulatory challenges in your startup journey. How to avoid regulatory challenges. According to HubSpot, they've discovered that businesses, particularly startups, do fail because they have failed to comply with regulatory challenges, and the authorities came in and just simply shut down the business. So we want to avoid those kind of things. We want to make sure that we don't fall into the trap that this person is going through right now. As you can see on their face, they're exhausted dealing with regulators. All right, let's get going. How can we make sure that we avoid that? Number one is to understand and comply with regulations. There are certain industries that are very much close to or need to be compliant. If you work in finance, if you work in health, if you work in banking, those kind of industries are always very highly regulated. If you work in forestry, sometimes it could be highly regulated. If you work in um, energy, it can be very highly regulated. Any industry that is highly regulated, you need to make sure that you understand and comply with regulations. So, in other words, you need to educate yourself and also consider consulting with a legal expert in that arena so that that expert can tell you certain things that you may not know. It's worth the money because it will save you a lot of time and energy in the future. So compliance can be a tricky situation that you need to learn about and make sure that you are following regularly. Okay, secondly, is to build a compliance structure. So the first is to understand, educate yourself, know what the regulations are. Second, make it part of your culture. Create a culture of compliance within your organization. Train your team to always comply with regulations. Train your team not to circumvent regulations, but to comply with it. Make sure compliance is part of your operational ethos. I always say something around raising the bar high. If you're starting something, always raise the bar, the standard, make it really high. Because generally speaking, when other people are working for you, they are most probably, most of the time, they're going to reduce the standard. So if you lift up the standard, if it's reduced, it's only reduced to a point, and it will never get to the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. So compliance is one of those things that I would make sure I raise up high within my organization, particularly depending on the type of company that you are working for or the industry within which you operate. Okay, last point, then, number three, is to stay informed and stay adaptive. Lastly, stay informed and stay adaptive to or about regulations. Regulations are evolving, regulations are changing, business practices are changing, so the government regulators are changing alongside with it. You can imagine the kind of regulation that came out with COVID, after COVID, and the regulations that came with cryptocurrency, and the regulations that are now out with AI. You can just imagine all these kinds of regulations surrounding all what we have discussed. So, depending on your industry, understand first and comply with regulation. Number two, build a compliance culture. And number three, stay informed and adaptive. I think one of the things that I want to bring up to you today, if I may, is to really seek legal expertise for your compliance. Don't take it with a pinch of salt because it can really come back to bite you. So let's make sure we do that. If you like this video, then do like it. If you like it, do subscribe to the channel. And if you like it, do share it. Thank you so much and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.